If someone wasn't treated like they were wanted during their formative years, it doesn't mean that they will be consciously aware of this now that they are an adult. Yet, if this is not something that they are aware of, what took place is still likely to have a big impact on how they experience life. What can be normal is for them to spend a lot of time on the outside, so to speak. This is not to say that they won't have any friends, but what it does mean is that they can spend a lot of time by themselves. There is a chance that they won't have had an intimate relationship, or if they have had at least one, they might not have been treated very well. This may have been a time when they often felt ignored, unloved, worthless, and as though they didn't matter. Perhaps their partner cheated on them once or a number of times, with them feeling very low and deeply hurt as a result. Either way, this would have been a time when they often felt rejected and as though their partner didn't really want to be with them. Along with this, they may have been with at least one person who did treat them well, but this came to an end before long. This would have been a time when they were often seen and heard and felt valued. One or a number of things may have happened, and it might have gradually fallen apart. After the dust had settled, they might have looked back and wondered why it ended. What may have entered their mind is that it simply wasn't meant to be, and that if it was supposed to last, it would have. This is not to say that they wouldn't have experienced a lot of pain when it ended, though. They may have experienced a deep sense of loss and fallen into a very deep emotional hole. After the days, weeks, months passed by, they might have gradually returned to how they were before, or close to it. If they have thought about this relationship, what might have entered their mind is that being with someone who loved and appreciated them didn't feel completely comfortable. This is then what they wanted, but they were unable to fully embrace it. In addition to this, there could be times when they think about how they don't deserve to be with someone like this. Therefore, this part of them is going to make it hard for them to experience what they both desire and deserve. When it comes to how they experience life, regardless of if they are by themselves, are at work, with friends, family, or in a social setting, what could often be at the back of their mind is that they don't belong. So, even if another person or a group of people make it clear, in big and small ways, that they are welcome and they want them to be there, this won't matter. As opposed to having the right to be on this earth and to have their needs met, then they will be like an intruder that has broken into a house and is not welcome or worthy of anything. If this is something that they are accustomed to and are not aware of, there will be no reason for them to take a step back and take a closer look. If this is how someone has experienced life for as long as they can remember and doesn't feel connected to their fellow human beings, or as though they deserve to be here, it could be due to what took place during their formative years. This may have been a time when they were often neglected and thereby deprived of the nutrients that they needed to grow and develop in the right way. Ultimately, their parent or parents wouldn't have treated them as though they were wanted, valued, loved, and belonged. This would have been a time when they often felt unwanted, worthless, unloved, rejected, and alone. The pain and hurt that they often experienced as a result of being treated in this way would have ended up being repressed, with them shutting down and disconnecting from themselves in the process. This would have been their only option, as they were powerless and totally dependent. When it comes to why they were treated in this way, it had absolutely nothing to do with them and everything to do with what was going on for their parent or parents. their parent or parents might have also been treated in this way during their formative years and ended up passing on what was done to them. Also, if this is what they did experience throughout their early years, it doesn't mean that this was the first stage of their life when they felt unwanted. This could be a continuation of how they felt long before they were a child, toddler, or an infant. When they were in their mother's womb, this may have been how they felt, or the state that they were in by picking up on what was going on for her. This could show that their mother was going through a challenging time with their father, and or that she wasn't ready to have a child, or didn't want another child. So if you can relate to this and you can see that you feel unwanted and you have felt this way for as long as you can remember, then please know that how you feel is most likely a reflection of how you were treated during your early years or before, and you have the right to be here. You deserve to be here. You deserve to exist. You deserve to live a fulfilling life. And how you feel is then going to be a reflection of how you were treated very early on, and you were then treated this way due to what was going on for your parent or parents and other people, and most likely they were wounded in one way or another, and this prevented them from being able to make you feel wanted, from making you feel that you were loved, you were worthy, you were deserving, you were lovable, you had the right to exist. And most likely, if one person or a number of people made you feel this way, then they were also likely to have felt this way during their formative years. And this will then be an example of how neglect and deprivation is passed on from one generation to another. But the truth is, as I've said, you have every right to be here and you belong. You are welcome on this planet. But of course, for you to realize this at the core of your being, and for it to not just be an idea that doesn't truly sink in, you will probably need to work through a lot of deep emotional wounds and to express the developmental needs that were not met all those years ago. And this will take courage and patience and persistence, because it's not going to be easy for you to work through these wounds, these layers of pain, and it's not going to happen overnight. So you're going to have to hang in there and to keep going. And as you deserve to be here, as you deserve to live a fulfilling life, and this is why you need to keep going, because you deserve to be here. You deserve to live a fulfilling life. So if you are unable to work through this pain by yourself, then reaching out for external support will be essential. And I have written a number of how-to guides that will give you a structure of how to work through your wounds. But the main thing is that you do what you need to do and don't suffer in silence. If you'd like to find out more about the services that I offer, please go to www.oliverjrcooper.co.uk or email me at info@oliverjrcooper.co.uk, and I'm looking forward to assisting you on your journey.